the birth of a monster in the forgotten ages of the world. When the earth was young and magic still walked openly among men, there lived a scholar whose hunger for knowledge would damn him for eternity. His name was Koschei, though in his youth he bore another name, one long since lost to time. Born the third son of a minor noble house in the frozen reaches of the north, he was a sickly child, plagued by visions of his own mortality. While his brothers trained with sword and spear, young Koschei buried himself in ancient tomes, seeking answers to questions that frightened even the wisest sages. The turning point came when he was but 16 years old. A wasting sickness took hold of him, rotting his flesh despite the healer's best efforts. As he lay dying, his father called upon a wandering sorcerer, a gaunt figure with eyes like smoldering coals. The sorcerer whispered words in a language that made the candles gutter and the walls bleed, and miraculously, Koschei recovered. But the price was terrible. The sorcerer demanded the boy himself as payment. For 7 years, Koschei served the sorcerer, learning forbidden arts in a tower that stood between worlds. He mastered the language of crows, the mathematics of falling stars, and the secret names of death itself. On the night of his 23rd birthday, he turned these arts against his master, trapping the sorcerer's soul in a silver mirror. As the first act of his newfound power, Koschei shattered the mirror, scattering the fragments across 7 kingdoms. Yet even this dark triumph brought no peace. The more Koschei learned of magic, the more he understood how fragile mortal life truly was. He watched as plague took his family, as war consumed his homeland, as time withered everything he had ever known. A terrible resolve took root in his heart. He would not share their fate. He would become deathless. The bargain with Baba Yaga. The legend spoke of a witch who lived beyond the Black River, in a hut that walked on chicken legs. They called her Baba Yaga, the Bone Mother, the devourer of fools. Koschei prepared for 3 years before daring to seek her out. He forged a sword from a fallen star's heart, brewed potions from the tears of hanged men, and memorized every ward against evil magic. When at last he stood before her crooked hut in the heart of the unseen forest, the very trees trembled at his approach. Baba Yaga emerged not as the crone of legend, but as a beautiful maiden with iron teeth and eyes like bottomless wells. "Little scholar," she crooned, "do you know what happens to those who come seeking me uninvited?" Koschei did not flinch. "They become wiser or they become supper. I intend to be the former." What followed was a battle of wits that lasted 9 days and nights. Baba Yaga set him impossible tasks: to gather moonlight in a sieve, to count every grain of sand in her hourglass, to name all the stars in the sky. Each time, Koschei found a solution through cleverness rather than magic, impressing the ancient witch. On the 10th morning, Baba Yaga leaned close, her breath smelling of grave soil and bitter herbs. "You seek immortality, little scholar, but tell me, what will you give in return?" Koschei offered gold, power, even his firstborn child. Baba Yaga laughed until the hut shook. "These are trinkets. I want something precious. I want your death." And so the bargain was struck. Baba Yaga taught him the great secret, how to remove his soul from his body and hide it away. Together they performed the ritual under the blood moon. Koschei's scream as his soul was torn out could be heard in the underworld. The witch sealed his soul inside a needle, the needle inside an egg, the egg inside a duck, the duck inside a hare, and the hare inside an iron chest buried beneath the world tree. As Koschei marveled at his newfound invincibility, Baba Yaga whispered the final condition: "For 7 years and 7 days, you will serve as my apprentice. Refuse, and I will whisper your soul's location to every hero in the land." The apprenticeship, those 7 years, changed Koschei in ways he could never have imagined. Baba Yaga taught him secrets that would make gods tremble: how to brew storms in a teacup, how to weave spells from human fear, how to walk the roads between worlds. But with each lesson, part of his humanity withered away. The turning point came in the 5th year, when Baba Yaga took him to witness the death of a star. As the celestial fire guttered out, she turned to him and said, "This is the truth of immortality, little scholar. To live forever is to watch everything you love turn to dust." Koschei, now more demon than man, simply laughed. "Then I will love nothing." When the 7 years ended, Koschei betrayed his teacher as he had betrayed all others. He poisoned her tea with a draught made from his own bones, a poison no immortal could resist. As Baba Yaga convulsed in agony, she cursed him. "You will rule for 1,000 years. Deathless one. But a day will come when a hero finds your soul, and on that day you will know true fear." The tyrant rises free at last. Koschei carved out a kingdom in the blasted lands beyond mortal maps. He raised the obsidian citadel, its towers built from the frozen screams of his enemies. His armies of the damned marched across the world, toppling kingdoms and erasing entire bloodlines from history. His cruelty became legend. When the warrior queen Vasilisa defied him, he imprisoned her in a tower of mirrors, forcing her to watch infinite reflections of her own slow starvation. For the wizard Chernobog who tried to steal his secrets, Koschei crafted a special punishment. He merged the man's soul with a dying star, condemning him to burn without consuming for all eternity. Yet through it all, Baba Yaga's words haunted him. He moved his soul's hiding place constantly, from beneath the world tree to the heart of a volcano, from the depths of the ocean to the far side of the moon. Each time, he slaughtered all who knew the new location. The witch's revenge, Baba Yaga, though seemingly defeated, was far from gone. From the shadows between worlds, she orchestrated Koschei's downfall. She appeared in the dreams of heroes, whispering clues about the Deathless One's weakness. She taught peasants simple wards against his magic. Most cunning of all, she manipulated Koschei's own paranoia, making him relocate his soul so often that eventually he grew careless. Their final confrontation came on the night of weeping stars. Baba Yaga appeared before Koschei's throne, no longer hiding her true power. The battle that followed shattered mountains and turned the sky black with their fury. Koschei, wielding the stolen power of 100 gods, seemed unstoppable. But Baba Yaga fought with the cunning of eternity, using his own strength against him. In the end, she could not kill him, but she did something worse. With her dying breath, or so it seemed, she revealed that she had already told a simple woodsman's son the secret of Koschei's immortality. "He comes for you even now, Deathless One, and he carries with him my final gift." The death of the Deathless, the hero even, was unlike any foe Koschei had faced before. Not a mighty warrior nor a cunning wizard, but a simple young man armed only with kindness and an unshakable will. Baba Yaga had set him on the path years before, appearing to him as a kindly grandmother. Ivan's quest took him through the 9 hells and across the sea of lost souls. He outwitted the 3-headed dragon Zmi, solved the riddle of the Sphinx's forgotten sister, and traded his shadow to the Lord of Flies for the final clue. When at last Ivan stood before the great oak where Koschei's soul was hidden, for in his arrogance, the Deathless One had returned it to its original resting place. The earth itself seemed to hold its breath. The chest screamed when opened. The hare spat curses as Ivan caught it. The duck's wings burned with hellfire. The egg bled when cracked. And when Ivan snapped the needle, a sound like the world ending echoed across creation. Koschei, who had stood laughing as empires fell, who had drunk the fear of kings like wine, felt something he had not known in centuries: terror. His body, once invincible, began to crack like drying clay. His magnificent robes turned to grave shrouds. His crown melted like wax. As he collapsed into dust, his final words were not of anger, but of wonder. "So this is what it feels like ... The lesson of Koschei. In the aftermath, Baba Yaga, who of course had not truly died, collected Koschei's dust in an hourglass. Some say she keeps it on her shelf to this day, a reminder to all who seek immortality. The tale teaches us that all power has a price. Koschei gained eternity, but lost his soul long before it was destroyed. The greatest chains are those we forge ourselves. His paranoia became his undoing. Even gods may fall. For in the end, it was not magic but simple courage that destroyed the Deathless One, and so the legend endures, whispered around campfires and written in secret books, a warning to all who would follow in Koschei's footsteps. For as Baba Yaga likes to say, the only true immortality is in the stories they tell after you're gone. And even those fade in time.